Hi children, good morning. In the Lifelines of National Economy chapter, part 2, we have discussed about the classification of railways. That is, those are what is the route length of the railways and how many locomotives, what is the fleet of the railways, the next passenger services and other coaches, wagons, etc. we have discussed. And what are the three different gauges which the railway department or the railway network is running on, and also the distribution pattern of railways and the drawbacks which are facing by the railways. And at the end of today's class, you will be able to learn about the pipelines, children, and its importance. Right? Let's go. Children, pipeline transport is not at all a new arrival. It's an old one only. In the past, people used to use these pipelines to transport only water to cities and industries. Okay, and now these pipelines are used for transporting crude oil. See here, you can see these pipelines are using for transporting of crude oil, petroleum products and natural gas from oil and natural gas fields to refineries, fertilizer industries and big thermal plants. Okay, so solids also can be transported through the pipelines, children. Only if we can convert the solids into slurry, it means a semi-liquid mixture. If you convert the solid metal into semi-liquid mixture, for example, iron ore is there. If you heat it, no, it becomes into slurry, like a semi-liquid like substance, right? So you can also transport the solids by converting them into slurry. So in that way, we can transport the solids also from place to place. Children, these pipelines are most helpful for the industries which are located in the remote places or far inland locations. For example, Barauni, Mathura, Panipat are there, no children? They are the far inland locations. So the fertilizers which are established in that places only surviving because of these pipelines. Okay, so the initial cost of laying pipelines is costly, children. First, it is very high only, but the subsequent running of the cost are minimal. It means what, to maintain these pipelines, it'll just what, spend, we can spend only just a minimum amount. Okay, and it also rules out the transshipment losses or delays. No leakage, no delays also. Okay, so in that way, these pipelines are very much helpful. Now, there are three important networks of pipeline transport, children, in the country. Pipelines from the oil fields in Upper Assam to Kanpur via Guwahati. Here you can see the red line, no? So that indicates the first important pipeline, children. So it is from Upper Assam to Kanpur via Guwahati, Barauni, Allahabad. So it is an important route for transportation of oil. Children, this pipeline is also having some branches from Barauni to Haldia and from Guwahati to Siliguri. Another route of pipelines connects Salaya in Gujarat and Jalandhar in Punjab via Viramgam, Mathura, Delhi and Sonipat. Okay, through these cities it is passing through. Okay, it also has branches to connect to Koyali near Vadodara, Gujarat, Chakshu and other places. Okay, the last important pipeline is HYJ pipeline. So HYJ natural gas pipeline from Hazira in Gujarat connects Jagadishpur in Uttar Pradesh via Vijaypur in Madhya Pradesh. It also has branches to Kota in Rajasthan, Shahjahanpur and Babrala and other places in the Uttar Pradesh, children. The land transport system like roadways, railways, including the pipelines, these three play an important role in economic development of the nation, children. Students, now let us learn about the waterways in detail. Waterways are the most suitable and cheapest means of transport for carrying heavy and bulky goods to far off places. And not only that, children, it also carries goods from one continent to another. Okay, so water transport is the fuel efficient and most eco-friendly mode of transport because it consumes less fuel, children, and it will not pollute the environment. India is one of the seafaring countries. Since history, its seamen sailed far and near. It means for the far transport and for the near also, we used to use only this maritime trade. It means the journey on the sea. So, thus carrying and spreading the Indian commerce and culture from one continent to another and from India to other places also. India's trade with foreign countries is carried from the ports, it means which are established on the seashores that are located along the coasts. So 95% of the trade volume is moved by the sea. That accounts for about 68% of the terms of value. So 98% of the volume of trade, children, is done only through the sea transport. It means when water transport. Okay, so its value is about 68% in terms of value. Okay, with a long coastal line of about 7,516.6 kilometers. In ninth class, we have discussed now what is the coastal length. Coastal length of the India, it is 7,516.6 kilometers. So we have the ports in these coastal line. What's the length of coastal line, children? I repeat, 7,516.6 kilometers. So India is dotted with 12 major and 181 medium and minor ports. Major ports, how many we have? Only 12. But medium and minor ports, children, many. Those are how many? 181 medium and minor ports. So about 95, the major ports handle 95% of India's foreign trade. The major ports like Kandla port or Mumbai port, Visakhapatnam port, all these ports, they handle 95% of India's foreign trade. It means they take care of the foreign export. Okay, and let's know about the tidal port. Okay, so the tidal port. The tidal port in Kandla was the first port developed soon after independence to ease the volume of trade on the Mumbai port. Children, why they have developed this Kandla port soon after independence? Yes, you all know that after we got independence, Pakistan was separated from India, right? So we lost Karachi port. Previously, Karachi port used to take large volume of trade, but no, we lost Karachi. No, so in order to, what we'll say, replace that or recover that lost, we have developed this Kandla port, and this Kandla port is a tidal port. Okay. So in order to ease the burden on the Mumbai port, children, this Kandla port was developed. So let's learn about the importance of this Kandla port. Okay, so Kandla port is an important port, children, as it is conveniently handles exports and imports of highly productive granary and industrial belt stretching across the states of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Gujarat. So, from these states, whatever production from the agriculture and the industrial production from these states are also exported through this Kandla port. Okay. So, next comes to Mumbai port, children. Mumbai is the biggest port with a spacious, natural, and well sheltered harbour. It's a natural port, naturally formed port. Nobody established this. Okay, so but the volume of trade which the Mumbai port is carrying is very much high. That is why, in order to ease this Mumbai port, business or the exports and imports, children, or trade, the Jawaharlal port was established. The port was planned with a view to decongest the Mumbai port and serve as a hub port for this region. Okay, so it means whatever the much ships when they come, no children, they'll send to the Jawaharlal Nehru port. So there, in this way, they can decongest the Mumbai port. Next goes to Marmagova port. Marmagova port in Goa is the premier iron ore exporting port of the country, children, because it is the port which carries 50% of the export of iron ore from this port. This Marmagova port accounts, it means they do trade, it means 50% of India's iron ore export from this port only. It means Marmagova port only. Okay, now the next port is New Mangalore port. This New Mangalore port and Marmagova port are not much in distance, but this New Mangalore port has different importance. It is located in Karnataka and caters to export of iron ore concentrates from Kudermug mines. Its importance is what, children? The iron ore which is available from the Kudermug mines. Children, do you know the meaning of Kudermug? Kuder means horse, Muk means face. These mines, they look like horse face. From these mines, they extract the iron ore. Do you know where these Kudermug mines are located, children? On the Bailadila hills of Western Ghats. So, from those Bailadila hills of Western Ghats, they extract the iron ore from the Kudermug mines and export through New Mangalore port. Okay. Now let's come to the last port in the southwestern part, children, and it is the extreme southwestern port. Its name is Kochi. Kochi is the extreme southwestern port, children. It is located at the entrance of a lagoon. You know lagoon, children, it's a backwaters. So lagoon, at the entrance of lagoon, you can find this Kochi, this port, children. Okay, so this Kochi is a natural harbor. It's not an artificial. We did not make it. Okay, so it's a natural harbor. Now comes to the in the eastern side, in the eastern extreme southeastern coast, you can find Tuticorin port. Which port? Tuticorin port. It is in Tamil Nadu, children. So it is also has a natural harbor and rich hinterland. Hinterland means what? No, rich place for for keeping the this ships. Okay, na? So that we can call it as a harbor also. So it has a flourishing trade handling a large variety of cargoes to even our neighboring countries like Sri Lanka, Maldives, etc. Okay, and etc. And the coastal regions of India also, they can transport these cargoes to different countries like Sri Lanka, Maldives, and other regions of the country. Okay, so now next comes to Chennai port, children. Chennai is one of the oldest artificial ports of the country. It is ranked next to Mumbai in terms of volume of trade and cargo. It means next after Mumbai, the busiest port is what? Chennai. So next after the volume of trade, Chennai occupies second place, next place in the trade and also cargo also, children. Children, now comes to Visakhapatnam port. Visakhapatnam is the deepest landlocked and well protected port, children. Children, do you know what is how a port can be landlocked? Yes, I'll tell you. So this port is surrounded by land on three sides. If you can see the Visakhapatnam, this port can be surrounded by the land on three sides. That is why it is called landlocked. So Visakhapatnam port was originally conceived as an outlet for the iron exports. Iron ore exports, mostly they do from this Visakhapatnam port. So that's all for today, children. Thank you. Have a nice day.